It's May 12th and it's a beautiful day here in central Missouri, and I thought we'd take a look at the garden today. The last frost date for this area is average date May 1st. But in early April the weather was really warm and it looked like the forecast didn't show any freezing weather. So my son and I planted some cantaloupes and watermelons. That's a cantaloupe plant right there. That was planted a little over a month ago. Well, I guess about a month ago. Now, it came up, all the seeds came up, but they haven't grown much since then. And I think it's because, although it didn't freeze and kill the plant, the tropical plants like that just don't grow very well when the soil is still cold. And so even though it didn't freeze, it was April, it was still pretty cold overnight in a lot of cases. Let's see, this is a horseradish plant left by some ancient occupant of this place. I think the guy who built all of these garden fences and gates, he's got the reinforced corner posts over there. He was a boat dock builder, and he built all that stuff out of his leftovers. I think he sold this place off about 25 years ago. So I think he's the one that probably had the horseradish. Somebody planted a bunch of garlic over there. It's been there for, I don't know, 15 years. And I'm going to harvest it this year. Looks like a good hard neck garlic. My potatoes are beautiful. These are potatoes. I planted them a month ago. And then I have 3 rows here. The first little one is parsnips. And if you don't know anything about parsnips, look them up. They're delicious in soup. And then this is 2 rows of beets because my wife loves beets so much. My garden protocol for killing weeds is to cut the tops off of everything and then cover it with grass clippings from mowing the yard. I have a lot of property here that I mow, partly because it improves property value and it's pleasant. I like mowed grass, but also partly so I can mulch my garden, because it's a really great source of free mulch. You can use hay or straw, but those are full of seeds. So if you cut your grass before it goes to seed, you can do a lot of mulching in your garden without worrying about introducing grass seeds. Here I have 16 pepper plants. I got cayenne and a bell pepper and 2 rows of jalapenos because I like to make pickled peppers. And I planted some watermelons over here. And they did the same thing as the cantaloupes. They just sort of came up and didn't do anything. There's one right there. It just looks pathetic. I think I'm going to have to plant my watermelons again. Just this week I expanded the garden because this is a corner post right here. So there's a little spot goes back to there, and that's it. Just a little place where somebody grew a little garden years ago. But it was a while back I built these huge trellises, and I wanted to put up some trellises so I could grow tomato plants. I just don't think there was enough room over here for the trellises and the watermelons. So I took down this fence right here, pounded in some posts, and put up some cattle panels, which is another resource that came with the property. There's a lot of cattle panels around here. And then that's the old fence. I pulled it off of this post over here and then strung it around over there, and that's where it ends. And then I finished up with cattle panels. And this was mowed grass, so there's a lot of sod still left down there. And I just put the deck all the way down on my lawnmower and cut it off, which I will continue to do, cut it at ground level, while mulching it with its own cuttings, as well as cuttings from the yard. And over here you can see how I actually turned over a line of dirt on these 2 to plant lima beans and cowpeas, and then I'll be mulching that again with grass clippings. And I've done some grass clippings here where my tomatoes are, so I'll show you where the grass clippings come from. About 3 days ago I mowed this area. The grass was about 8 inches tall. I want it to be tall so I can actually get some grass for my efforts. But I don't want it to go to seed. Okay, I raked up some grass. Just this little section right here. Didn't take much, got the wheelbarrow full. Time to go put it on the garden. All you really got to do is just pick it up and plop it down. Now there's one issue with this method, which is that it attracts rodents like crazy. And I had a big problem with that when I first started doing this back at my old place. We were using big round bales of hay. We'd roll them out and cover the whole garden. And then one of our favorite crops to grow was watermelons. And we started noticing that we would see a big giant watermelon that was looking really good. Right about the time it was supposed to be ripe, we'd pick it up and it would be just completely, it was lightweight because it was completely hollow. And there would be a little hole in there where a vole had gotten in and hollowed out the entire watermelon. So nothing in it. And if you want to avoid that problem, you need to get a cat. But I like the method because it kills grass, it maintains soil moisture, and it also breaks down and decomposes into the ground and feeds the soil. So I have a few words about cats. We have some friends who are the type who don't have birth certificates. They live on a farm and they grow a garden and they raise goats and chickens and dogs and cows. And they also breed cats. This is Ned right here. Ned's a cat that we got from them. He's a real nice cat. Their cat breeding program has 3 criteria. One of them is the cat has to be a ruthless, cold-blooded killer and kill rodents and keep the farm and garden safe from damage. The second criterion is that they have to love people. Now these cats, when I walk my dogs, the cats follow me. And then they'll run ahead and lie down in front so that I almost step on them because they want me to pick them up. And they'll walk all the way out across the field just to get some attention. They love people. And the third criterion that they have in their breeding program for cats is they have to be super fluffy. So any cat that doesn't meet all 3 criteria is relentlessly culled from the breeding program. So Ned here is of the line of cats that is really good on the first 2 qualities, but isn't fluffy. If you go and see Elizabeth cats, they're just giant fuzzballs. And I would say Ned's more of a comfortably fluffy cat, but he's not super fluffy. But anyway, if you need a cat that'll kill mice like crazy and actually loves people, give me a call or send me a message and I'll hook you up with Elizabeth. She's a cat breeding genius. These truly are special cats. I've never met a cat like this before.